You don't have to show me.
You're lying.
Hey everyone, another episode of Garage Talk with Doug here, where we're going to be doing brakes on this 2003 Mercury Grand Marquis. We're doing the front disc brakes. I'm starting a little late. I apologize for that, but I had some machining work I had to do on this brake rotor to refinish it. Are you showing them the parts, Andrea? Stand behind me.
Yep.
Okay, Andrea is helping me here by assisting, by working the camera for me, so I have two free hands. If you need to put it on the tripod, Andrea, go ahead and do that, okay? All right, what I'm doing here, folks, is I've refinished my brake rotor. I put a non-directional finish on it. I do have a brake lathe of my own, so I'm able to refinish my own rotors. What I'm doing next is I'm prepping my caliper saddle here with new clips, and I have already re-greased these caliper pins, because these pins, can you show them this, Andrew? These pins have to move back and forth fairly easily, so that when the caliper clamps down on the rotor, the pads apply evenly from both sides, since the caliper pistons are only on one side of the brake rotor, and that's the inboard side. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get ready to bolt this back up. And to bolt it back up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my caliper saddle back over here, over my rotor, and get it lined up. And I want to start my top bolt. Andrew, get over on this side so you can see what I'm doing. Right here. Now I need to see what I'm doing. Come on. All right, I'm just getting this top bolt started, and now I'll go ahead and I'll get my bottom bolt started. You might want to come around this side, Andrea.
That's where I was before.
All right, I've got those two bolts started. You want to grab me my ear? Okay, it's back by the brake lathe right now. So anyway, that's what it looks like with the caliper saddle installed over the rotor. Yes, freshly turned discs, Waukesha. Good to see you on here. Let me just back up, see if there's anybody else. Hey, Popeye, good to see you. Yeah, we're in the middle of doing a front disc brake job. I've already finished the brake rotor, as you can see, and installed the brake rotor. I'm in the process now of installing the caliper saddle. Yes, please, Andrea. Thank you. I'm giving my daughter some instructions. Yes, I did get the tripod. Thank you very much, Pilot. I really appreciate that. I also was able to find my 6-foot tripod from the attic. In fact, give me a second here. I'm going to set this up on the tripod so that I can work hands-free. All right, give me just a second. There's the tripod. And let's get this in here. And let's see how this works here. Alrighty. Give me just a second here, folks. Alrighty, let's see if we can get that positioned. Okay, I think you can see that pretty good right there. At least I hope you can. Alright, in fact, let me rearrange it here a little bit. That may be... There we go. That looks a little bit better. Okay, so we have the tripod set up so we don't have to hold the camera right now. What I need is that air hose with some slack. Don't knock my tripod over. Come on, move the air hose away from the tripod.
I wouldn't knock your fucking thing over.
Hey, you can't curse.
Sorry.
All right. I'm going to set up my impact on here. This is going to be a little noisy. I want to switch over my socket, put a proper size socket. I believe on this it's an 18 millimeter. And we're just going to double check it. Yep, 18 millimeter it is. And we're going to run those bolts in. And we want to make sure those bolts are good and tight so the caliper saddle does not come off. Uh-oh. Did we cross-thread a bolt? Nope, it's just very hard going in. All right, let me try this again. Yeah, it's going in much easier now.
Okay, we just want to make sure we don't cross-thread anything. Ah, come on. Ah. One more time here, folks, and we'll get it. Ugh. Andrea, watch the camera, please. The camera, Andrea. Andrea, position the camera. Okay, so these are the bolts I'm tightening. All right. Are they able to see it?
Yeah.
All right, with that installed, my next step is to install my brake pads. So I want to get them out. Now, I'm putting on some premium brake pads. These are carbon fiber ceramic brake pads. They're supposed to give about 20%. Turn off that air compressor so that it's not making so much noise. Sorry about the noise. We'll take care of that and remedy that in just a second here, folks. Okay, thank you, Andrea. I appreciate that. I think so do the viewers, too. All right, what we're going to do here, and I'll get to the questions and answers in just a minute, is we're going to install these brake pads. Now, if you can see that, this is all the lining material here. Last week, when I showed you the worn ones, there was barely any lining material at all. So these are quite a bit thicker. And in order to make room for them, I had to push the caliper pistons back in to the caliper. Okay, that's so I'll be able to get that on and over it. And let's see what we have here. We got to tap these into place. Yeah, let's try using a screwdriver for that. Nope, that ain't gonna do it. These are a very tight fit, folks. Andrew, you want to get me a ball peen hammer?
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll have my daughter get me a ball peen hammer here. That'll make it a lot easier for get these pads in. As these pads and these spring clips are rather tight. It's a very, very tight fit. I'll show you the box that the brake pads came in and give you the name brand on them in just a minute. Let me just get this caliper saddle loaded up here, and then we can go from there. You know where the ball peen hammers are, in? Alrighty. Alright, you know what? While I'm waiting here, let me go back to the chat and see what's going on. Alrighty. Hey Billy, good to see you. King of Chuck, yes, I said hello. Yes, I did get the tripod, King of Chuck, thank you. Hard to get good help these days. She is a good help. Don't knock it. All right, she beats me having to get up every 2 minutes to go get something. Alrighty. Let me set this back up again. All right, hopefully you can see that. And let's beat it into submission. Oh, this one's going to be tight. Tight, tight, tight. There we go. All right, we're going to tap that into place. All right. And that's in place right now. Now, before I go any further, I want to take a little disc brake quiet here. And I want to apply that without making a mess. Let me just shake it up here a little bit. There's a little agitator ball in there that helps mix the stuff that's inside here. It's a sticky stuff that goes on the back side of the pad. I'm just going to spray a little bit on here, just so the pad is a little sticky.
What's that called?
This is disc brake quiet. Okay. You want to aim the camera at them so they can see what I did? You can pick up the whole thing. Alright, so that's sprayed down with disc brake quiet. I'm going to do the same thing to the other pad, but I'm going to do that before I install it. Alright, I'm just going to take this over here. spray a light coating on. All right, now you can see better what I've done here is I've taken my disc brake quiet, I've sprayed it on the back of the pad, and now we're going to go ahead and install that pad. Okay, let's try and get in. Come on. There we go. Okay, now with my pads in place, I'm ready to install my brake caliper. Let me just wipe my hands off here. All right, as I don't want to get any goo on my freshly machined brake rotor. Alrighty. At this stage of the game, guys, I have 2 bolts that hold the caliper to the caliper saddle. I'm digging those out. Can they see what I'm doing? Okay. My daughter's monitoring the camera, by the way, folks. My daughter's name is Andrea, and she is very interested in automotive repair. Even more so now that she's driving. So anyway...
Dad, I've been driving for 6 years.
Well, yeah. I guess so. It doesn't seem that long ago, Ann. Alright, so now my next step is I want to start these.
What is that part called?
These are the caliper bolts. Alright, this is what holds the caliper to the saddle. Alright, these we're going to turn in by hand. Alright, we're going to make those finger tight first. Oh, come on. It wants to give me a little bit of a hard time here, folks. You know how it goes when you're doing stuff live. Come on. It's not cooperating. Give me a second here to reposition myself.
I want to do it.
No, I don't want you to do it. I'll get it. Just gotta get it lined up right. Okay, now that we got them started, we should be able to run them in. Okay. I'll let you do the other side if you'd like. All right?
Whatever.
This way you get to see how it's done on this side, and you'll know how to do the other side. All right.
Sounds good.
It's one tight. And I just realized something. I got to take these back out again because I thought I had my brake hose twisted, but I do not. All right, that's something you want to check when you put your caliper back on, is that your brake hose is not twisted. All right, if your brake hose is twisted, you're going to have problems with the way the brakes perform. You put a kink in your brake hose, and it will restrict the fluid flow to the caliper. And that's a problem, folks. Because what'll happen is you'll go to step on a brake, and you'll find you have to step on a brake very hard to get the car to stop. We don't want that. All right, now I'm going to give that a little extra tightness because, again, like I said, we don't want this coming loose. And this is a little old-timer's trick that I picked up years ago. That's take 2 wrenches, hook it together so you get a little extra leverage. All right. Normally I'd use a torque wrench, but folks, I've been doing this for so long, I know about how tight to make the bolts so they're not going to snap and yet they're not going to come loose.
Do you ever impact
And
that
that's
or
it
no?
right there. Okay, do I have what?
Do you ever impact that or no?
You could. I don't like to. I like to tighten those by hand. All right. Do me a favor, Adrian, turn the steering wheel so that it's straight. And my next step here, folks, is to put the tire back on.
You want me to do that?
At least on this side. No, I want you to turn the steering wheel straight.
Oh, I
Unlock the steering wheel.
Yeah, I turned it straight.
No, it's not straight.
Oh.
More. That's good. All right. What you can do is you can wheel that tire over that's right behind you. All right? Wheeling around by the front of the car. Don't let it get away from you.
What? It's not
You
getting
let it get away
away.
from her. Alrighty. Alrighty. We're getting the tire positioned. And I've got to pick up way up on this thing in order to get it started. And it is quite heavy. Oh, shoot. I may need a little help from you here, Ann. Come on, honey. Get in here. Get in on this side. You'll have to move the camera and stuff. Let me see if I can do this with my toes. Come on. Almost. Almost. There we go. We got it. All right, that's how to use your toes. All right, the next step then is to put the lug nuts back on. And when we put lug nuts on, we want to make sure that we tighten them all up evenly. And then we tighten them up in what they call a star pattern, which I'm going to demonstrate to you here in just a second. The very first thing that we want to do is make sure they all start by hand. Okay, if you notice on the lug nut, there's a tapered end. That tapered end goes in toward the rim, so it locks the rim in place. Okay, that's the way the lug nuts go on. A lot of people try and put them on this way. They'll go on that way, but they won't lock the rim in place. And the next thing you know, you've ripped your studs out, and your wheel is passing you as you go by. Not a good scenario. All right? And if you don't think it happens, it does. It happens very often. All right? It happens because people don't torque down their lug nuts properly. It happens because they don't install lug nuts properly. All right? And I'm installing them the proper way right now because I'm tightening everything down by hand first. All right? And then I'll finish tightening them in a star pattern that I talked about. Okay. Now that they're tightened down by hand, we want to get our socket back on here. It should be a 21 millimeter on this car. Most cars are 19 or 21 millimeter, which would translate to 3/4 inch or 13/16 of an inch in SAE size. All right. Let me get this socket that's on the gun off and get this one on. Switching sockets around. Okay. Can they see that or not? All right. Okay, we've got that socket on the gun. We want to make sure the gun is going in a tightening direction, and it is. I tested it. And now we're going to go around in a star pattern. Make sure they see this,
Yeah.
Andrea. Tightening these lug nuts. Okay. Now that I've gotten them all tight, I want to hit them all again. All right, make sure that they're good and tight. Okay, that takes care of that. Last step, folks. Let's get our wheel cover on. All right, I'm going to put my valve up top because it just makes it easier for me to line things up here. I want to find the slot where the valve goes, which is right here. In fact, there's a little picture of a tire valve right here on the back of the cover. It's a little dirty right now. Let me see if I can wipe it off so you can see it a little better. Yeah, there we go. Show them this right here, Andrea. Okay, there's your tire valve, and it's pointing to this. That means that your tire valve has got to go through that hole. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to get it lined up here, okay, with our tire valve through that hole. Get our wheel in place, and then we can start tightening up on our little plastic nuts, which is all that secures this wheel cover to the car. All right, there's just these little plastic nuts. And Andrea, if you would grab me a 1/2 inch drive ratchet from the toolbox, I would greatly appreciate that.
You need a socket?
Nope, I've got the socket. I just need the ratchet, because I want to tighten these up by hand. Okay, since it's just plastic, folks, and that's all that holds this thing on, I don't want to go crazy cranking down on it. And again, I want to tighten them up in a star pattern, just so that I know that my tightening sequence was even all the way around. Half-inch drive is a large one, honey. All right here, folks. Give me just a second and I'll get back to the chat here while I'm waiting for her to bring me that ratchet. How's it going, Ann? Should be in the top drawer, Ann. All right, let me get back to the chat here. Okay, we've got this pretty much buttoned up. All right. Let me see what we have here. That's a big field running together. 3 to go. No, we're only doing the fronts today, Chuck, so, you know, take it easy on the old man. Chuck says hi, Andrea. You guys are watching NASCAR. Let's see what it says here. Let me just take this down and out of here for a second.
How do you even know what size is it labeled?
No, that's a half-inch.
Oh, good.
It measures a half-inch across the square part of the ratchet.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Cool.
I'm sorry, I got a lot of chat I'm backing up through here, so let me just get here. Hey, enjoy your beers watching that NASCAR race, guys. Here you guys are. Popeye says you guys are watching NASCAR while Doug is sweating. He says, no, I'm not sweating, believe you me. It went down to about 44 degrees here last night, and it's only about 59 degrees out here right now, so I'm not sweating by any means. All right, thank you for that, though. Yeah, drinking beer and watching NASCAR. Popeye says he needs a PBR myself. Geez, I used to drink that stuff back in the day. That wasn't bad beer. Waukesha Pilot, green, white. Checkers should be good. I don't know what you mean. Unless you're playing checkers. Ms. Shar, I'm glad you appreciate the content here.
Did you refinish your other brake rotor yet?
No, I haven't refinished the other brake rotor yet.
Ready on that?
Yep, I am. Ms. Shar is wondering what it costs to have this done at the local auto repair shop. To do a full brake service like this, where they're replacing the pads, refinishing the rotors, you're looking in my area about $149, all right, per axle. All right, an axle being the 2 front wheels, and then another $149 for the 2 back wheels. Okay, so that's about what it would run there, Ms. Shar. Yeah, most mechanics are crooks, Bill. I tend to agree with you. If you find one that's honest, keep them, praise them, do whatever you can to hang on to them, because they're a rare breed in this day and age. All right, that's why I go on here trying to show you folks what this stuff entails. You see, it doesn't take me very long to do just one, but I did have things prepped here. I'm going to take you in my garage here in a little bit and show you how to refinish a brake rotor. I think you'll enjoy that.
You gonna let me do you on something?
She doesn't have to get the tire off the car. I do. All right, and if I have to, you know, even I carry AAA. Okay, so, you know, we let them sweat that. By the way, I do have the torque preset on this gun. I do have the ability to set torque on it, and I have it set for about 100 foot-pounds right now, so I know that I've taken those lug nuts down about 100 foot-pounds, which is where they should be. Yeah, Popeye, I generally hate when tire guys use impact drivers. Yeah. All right. Yeah, generally, you're right. It should be torqued down with a torque wrench. You know, if it wasn't my car, I would do it that way, but it is my car. I know my tools, and I'm familiar with the torque that they produce. And the most important thing is to make sure that they're torqued down evenly. This way the rotor doesn't warp. These are floating rotors. What holds them in place are the lug nuts. So, you know, as long as you torque them down evenly and they're all torqued to about the same specs, you're in good shape. Yeah, I bet you have been stuck, Akula. I've been stuck too. I mean, it happens to me as well. Yeah, Bill, you're right. Good Samaritans are limited this day and age. Hence, I have AAA. Akula says, I saw Walmart use a torque wrench. First time I ever saw the shop do that. Yeah, that's what you should be using. Like I said, I know what the torque is on my guns, and I have them set accordingly. Ted Bundy was a good Samaritan to his victims. Yeah, I guess. Billy Boy, a big wreck again? What, around the house, Billy? I know you know, live down there where the storm came through. I hope you were all right and you didn't have much property damage. Kelly, hello, how are you? Do I recommend using torque sticks? Yes, you can use torque sticks. I don't have them. I have a torque wrench instead. But yes, you should retorque after driving about 100 miles. Yeah, Patriot, I'm glad you're enjoying it. Thank you. Darbadu, welcome aboard. Patriot, welcome aboard. Francisco Galt. Yes, I'm glad that you were able to stop by and check us out. A new subscriber, folks. All right, I think I've caught up on a chat. Anybody have any questions regarding their cars before I take you in the garage and show you how to refinish a brake rotor? All right, I'll give you a second here to ask. All right, I see there's 24 of you on, 13 thumbs up. Folks, if you like the content, please hit the thumbs up button. It doesn't cost a dime. All right. All right, since I don't have any questions as of right now, I'm going to take you in the garage and show you how to refinish this next brake rotor. Andrew, you want to grab the camera and you want to film? I will need it eventually. Okay, but for the time being, we can do without it.
You can let me do the other side.
Okay, so just take the camera, follow me around. I'm going to grab the other brake rotor, and we're going to put it up on the lathe.
Are you gonna let me do the other side? I want to do the other side.
Oh, jeez.
Be careful.
I'm feeling very stiff and sore today. Oh, change the weather. All right. Andrea, come on, follow me around.
Yeah, fuck off. I'm coming.
Hey, watch your language. I told you about that.
I want you guys to see his butt.
They say a cluttered garage is a sign of a great mind. Same with a cluttered desk. So I must be absolutely fantastic because this is clutter, folks.
Oh dear, oh dear.
All right.
Caliper.
Any second, I gotta get back up in the lathe. Without killing myself here. The hell was that? Alrighty. By the way, folks, take a picture of that brake rotor before it's finished. You can see here, guys, there's graying and bluing here from heat buildup in the rotor. There's probably a little bit of warpage on this rotor. I know there was on the other rotor I cut. But as you can see, these rotors are nice and thick. In fact, these rotors have never been cut before. All right, they have had one brake job under their belt. Now this is the second one. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here to the lathe. And I want to get my rotor over the spindle. And these rotors, guys, weigh about 30 pounds a piece. They are quite heavy. They are made out of cast iron. Okay. Now I have my lathe already previously set up since I already cut one rotor. So what we have here, and I'll take the camera for just a second so I can show you the setup.
Yeah.
All right. What we have here is we have our brake lathe here. Okay, our cutting blades, which are these blades down in here. Let me see if I can show them to you. We'll show them to you in a minute. But in any case, yeah, there's one cutting blade right there. Okay, and the other one is hidden by the rag. But there it is over there. Now you can see the two cutting blades, okay? That's here, and this one right over here. Okay? The reason there's two cutting blades is because there's two sides on this brake rotor, or two faces, as we say. And what we want to do is we want to get this brake rotor set up on a lathe so it spins true. And then we're going to calibrate our cutting blades so that it removes a few thousandths of an inch at a time. Now, on the other brake rotor, to completely clean it up, I took 10 thousandths off one side, 12 thousandths off another side, for a total of 22 thousandths of an inch. All right, 22 thousandths of an inch, folks. You figure it out. You take an inch, divide it into 1,000 pieces, and I remove 22 of them. Okay, so give you an idea as to how thin a cut we take on these things. All right, I'm going to turn the camera back over to my daughter while I get this brake rotor set up on here. Okay, so if you would, Andrea. Thank you. And please watch your language, honey. Hand me that disc right there.
This.
Yeah. Okay. Disc cone. Goes by both names. And what we're going to do is we're going to get this on here, and then I'm going to put on my vibration ring, and I'm going to start my nut. Now, the nut is left-handed because as this spins, since it spins right-handed, the nut won't loosen up if it's a left-handed nut. So again, what I'm going to do is we want to loosen this up. We want to spin it a little bit just to get any rust and scale out of there. And then we're going to tighten this back up, and I'm going to use my wrench to tighten down on it. All right, we do want to make sure that this is snug. Okay, that's snug. Now with that done, I can go ahead and turn on my lathe. Now this is going to be a little noisy, not too bad though. And I want to take my wrench, and I want to knock off any rust scale from the outside of the rotor. Not hurting anything by doing this, because remember, we're going to cut this brake rotor in just a couple of seconds here. So I want to back out on my cutting blades so that they don't make contact. And then what I want to do is I want to take my handle and I want to screw this in. Come on. There we go. Here it goes. When I get about halfway in, what I want to do is I want to take each one of these blades with these loose. I want to take my dial here and zero this out. So I'm going to hold this on 0, the inner sleeve, while I crank down on the outer adjustment. And in a second, I should hear my blade making contact with the brake rotor. All right, when I hear it start to make contact, I want to stop. Right there. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing for this side. Again, I want to zero this out. All right, by holding the outer sleeve in place, and then turn the dial in. Okay, can you see this, folks? Are they able to see this, Andrea?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, and it's about to make contact. You'll hear the blade here in just a second. There it goes, making contact. All right, you can hear there's a slight bit of warpage here. Now, with it set on 0, all right, which means the blade is just making contact with the brake rotor, what I want to do is I want to turn this all the way out. This is a rust edge on the edge of this rotor. That rust edge is right there. And what I want to do is I want to cut that out without removing much material. All right, you can see the rust coming off of there now. Okay, that's done. Now I'm going to put it all the way back in. Almost there. There we go. Okay, there's a little fillet on the front side of it. I want to make sure that I don't cut into the fillet. So what we're going to do now is we're going to loosen these up again. And my first cut, I want to take 4 thousandths of an inch off. So I'm going to set this for 4 thousandths and lock it down. I'm going to do the same thing on this side and lock it down. All right, since we're taking, our first cut is going to be a rough cut, I can remove 4/1000ths of an inch off each side for a total of 8/1000ths. All right, and there we go. The lathe does the rest of the work for me. It's set up automatically that once I get it adjusted, it will operate all on its own. All right, but we do want to keep an eye on things here as it's cutting to make sure that if something does go wrong, it's not going to ruin the rotor. I don't know whether you can hear me or not. I'm hoping you can. I'm trying to talk loudly so you can hear me. Let me get my hand out of the way so you can see what it's doing here. As you can see, it's removing that blue and gray surface that we had on that brake rotor before. It's leaving a nice clean surface behind that doesn't have heat buildup in it. Now, one of the things that we have to do once we install the brakes back on the car is we have to seat those brake pads, and there's a burnishing process, the called a burnishing process, that the manufacturer wants us to follow, and I will go over that with you. Alright, just bear with me, folks. We'll get this cut. Once I start the final cut on it, I'll go back outside, and we'll start reassembling the brakes. I can't reassemble it in the car. Second, I want you to see the chat. Alrighty, there we go. There's our brake blade doing it. Okay. Yeah, Don, only one question. How did you get so good looking? Yeah. Alright, Don, you'll have to send me a photo. Yeah, you picked a fine time to leave me loose wheel. Yeah, I got it. How as a driver would you be able to discern when this is needed? Miss Shar, if you hear your brakes squeaking, making strange noises, all right, it's time to bring it in for a brake inspection. I highly recommend you take it to a place like Midas or Meineke. They offer free brake inspections. I'm going to stop this for just a second so you can see how that brake rotor cleans up so nicely. Alrighty. I know it's a little hard to see on this side, but you can tell it's cleaned up. I'll show it to you when we take it off. You'll be able to see better. Okay, but that's the brake rotor all cleaned up. What we're going to do now is we're going to take a finish cut on it. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to put the brake rotor back on again. I'm going to turn the camera back over here to Andrea. And we're going to turn this in again. By the way, just to refinish a brake rotor in this neck of the woods, it costs you about $15 to $20 per rotor. What I'm doing right now. Okay, we're about ready to start that finish cut. Alright, right now.
How do you know if you can refinish it or if you have to buy a new one?
2,000ths off of this side. And we're going to take another 2,000ths off this side. You know what? Okay. This time we're going to take a slow cut. There we go. Notice the handle now is turning much more slower. This is going to put a much finer finish on my brake rotor. Alright, we do have to wait for this to finish before I can take the rotor off this machine and put it back on the car. So, this is going to take a few minutes. We don't have to watch all of it. I'll take the camera from you again. Okay, there we go. Let me, Alright, Miss Char, I hope I answered your question. Like I said, if you hear your brakes squeaking, if you hear any grinding noises coming from the brakes, it's time to get it in immediately for a brake inspection. Midas and Meineke will do that for you free of charge. I don't know, Pep Boys might as well. There are certain shops that do free brake inspections. Best thing to do is call them up and ask. All right, if they don't bother bringing it to them. All right, after all, they're trying to get a brake job out of you. And they should offer free brake inspections. Yes, Waukesha, your pedal may pulsate also when you step on the brakes. You also may notice a shimmy in the steering wheel. All right, and that's due to the rotors being warped and the caliper pistons moving back and forth when you step on the brake. Okay, if the warpage is in the front, not only will you feel it in the brake pedal, but you also may feel it in the steering wheel. Smoking says, Andrea, you rock. Yeah, Waukesha, or a loud squeal when the brakes are applied, rotors not warped, pads worn down too much. Yes. On some cars there are sensors, Don, not on all. All right, this Ford does not have a sensor, or this Mercury, I should say, does not have sensors on the brake pads. All right, a lot of your foreign cars do. In fact, on my BMW, they have electronic sensors that cause the brake light to come on when the brake pads wear down. It actually causes the brake pad to ground against the brake rotor and complete an electrical circuit which triggers a brake warning light to come on. Glad to hear you haven't experienced that. If you haven't experienced that, it means that you haven't gotten the brakes so hot that you've warped the rotors. You only need new brake rotors as part of an inspection, Ms. Char, if those brake rotors are either warped or scored. Scoring means that they have grooves in them from the pads getting too thin and it going metal to metal. All right. Generally, it's less expensive to replace the brake rotors than to do the machining. Brake rotors have come way down in price. A lot of them, in fact, come from Brazil or Mexico or China. Those are the cheaper ones. I don't necessarily recommend putting those on. I recommend you put on a good quality rotor. But, you know, if you can't afford the good ones, it's the next best thing. Popeye says, I need a haircut. I have that Jerry Garcia from the 80s look going on. Get your daughter to give you a haircut, Doug. YouTube stars need to keep up their image. All right, I'll talk to her about it. Miss Char says they probably did the work unnecessarily, but what do I know? Not that they did it unnecessarily, Miss Char. Generally, if your rotors were too thin, you know, and not up to minimum thickness specifications, they are going to replace your brake rotors. So don't feel like you threw your money away. All right, they did the right thing by you. Yeah, he's looking for a new dinghy. I don't know, Carl. Oh, his engine sounds like my... If his engine sounds like my brake lathe, he's got more problems than he cares to admit. Yeah, replacing the brake pads are more common than rotors. Generally, you'll go through 2, maybe 3 sets of brake pads before you have to replace the rotors. The tool I'm using right now, Ms. Char, is called a brake lathe. It's made by the folks at ANCO Brake Lathe Products. They make a lot of tools for doing brake work. If I had to replace this lathe with a brand new one, it's about a $5,000 lathe. All right, very expensive piece of equipment, which is why your mechanics tend to charge $15 to $20 for turning one brake rotor. Yeah, it looks a bit like a wood lathe, but this is strictly for cutting brake rotors. It can also be used with adapters for cutting flywheels. All right, for those of us that still have manual transmission vehicles. No, Pilot, not too many folks have one in their garage. I acquired this when I had my shop, and it's almost as old as I am. Yeah, Don, I've learned to keep my fingers away and where I can put them and where I can't. So I managed to keep them all this long. I plan on keeping them a lot longer. Alrighty. Ethan, it depends on how thick the rotor is to begin with. Alright, I measured these rotors with a micrometer. I know that I could take about 80 thousandths of an inch off these rotors before they become too thin that I would have to replace them. So I'm not taking off anywhere near that. I'll get another cut out of these rotors again. Alright. Yeah, Peaceful Don, I don't know what kind of car you have, but I have the same problem with my Mercury Marquis. You know, it's a very heavy car, and that's one of the reasons I'm upgrading to these Power Stop Extreme brake pads. They're supposed to provide 20% better braking than the original equipment pads did. So we'll let you know how that works out. Yes, this is the Mercury that I used to taxi Carl Brook around town. No, his extra large posterior did not cause the brakes to wear out prematurely. Yeah, Amco is a very good lathe, okay? You'll see them in most brake shops. I like them. They're very simple to use. Parts are still available for them, and I like them a lot. Alrighty, I caught up on the chat again. And our brake rotor still has some time here. So, you know, we're getting there. I'll also show you how to put a non-directional finish on these brake rotors, which is a good idea when you're installing brake pads. It just helps the brake pads burnish in a little faster. We're getting there, folks. Got a couple of minutes more here. And it does take some time. As you can see, we're getting near the edge of the brake rotor, but we still have some time here. Alright, hope you find this interesting. In the beginning, you might have heard that the cutting bits were skipping on the rotor. Alright, now you notice they're not skipping at all, which means that we're going to have a nice, smooth finish when these are done. Yeah, it looks like the rotor has a wobble, but that's the way the rotor was manufactured. The actual face of the rotor is not. That's why it's not making sounds of it skipping as the cutting blades are cutting. Yeah, I have my protective eyewear on. It's called my glasses, which have polycarbonate lenses. Okay, so yes, I am wearing eye protection. And we are just about finished here, folks. Okay, we're going to let this finish off all on its own. And it is now finished. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop this back into the neutral position. We're going to turn this out away from here a bit. And here's where I need Andrea. And of course she's not around. Alright, bear with me here for a minute, folks. I got to go get my air hose. Andrea, you want to get the air hose? Okay, my daughter's getting the air hose. So, any other questions while I'm waiting? Now, Marie, let's not pick on Popeye. I don't pick on anybody here. Alright, let's try and show love for everybody. Alright, that's the kind of channel I'd like to run. Alright, Andrea, I'm going to have you grab the camera again, and you can hand me the air hose. Hand to the end of it. Okay, you come on in here and grab the camera, please.
So you want me to go get the hammer?
No, I don't need a hammer. I need you to hold the camera.
Oh.
I said, okay?
I thought you said get the hammer.
No.
They sound the same.
Alright. And we'll do the same thing for the other side. care of that. Run that air hose back outside. You can take the camera outside. I'm going to be following you with the brake rotor here in just a second.
Be careful stepping over that thing. Motorcycle.
Just walk right between the two cars.
Yeah, I'm coming. I'm getting stuck.
We gotta move everything over to the right side of the car.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh my god, there's so much stuff over here. God.
Come on. Damn you. I need my chair over here first thing.
Yeah.
Of course, you drag the air hose to the other side of the car.
Thought you just said you needed to go on this side.
No, I need it on this side. Not on that side.
I know, it's right here.
Oh, shit.
You want me to put the chair behind you?
Yes, please.
You have to move forward a little. Move forward a little.
Am I good?
Yeah, I think
backwards?
so. Yeah, I think so.
Am I lined up?
It looks like it.
Okay. Take the steering wheel, turn it all the way to the left.
Okay. You want me to take this with me?
And bring the rest of the stuff over.
Here.
Yeah, I'll take that for now. All right, so we've got our brake rotor on here now.
Your air hose is on that side, by the way.
What?
Your air hose is on that side.
Oh, wonderful. I need everything else over here,
Okay.
please.
Do I?
Brake pads. Yes, keep turning it all the way.
Tell me when to stop.
All the way. It'll stop when it stops. Okay, good. All right, this just makes it a little easier for me to work on things here, folks. All right. Thank you, Marie. Yeah, I know she's learning something from this. You need a bigger hammer. Yeah, that's my problem too, smoking. Yeah, Latha's already hers. Yes, she is taking notes.
Okay, I thought I was going to get to do it.
Yeah, she's a good kid. She really is. Thank you, honey. All right, we're just getting set up here with tools so I can show you how this goes back together again. In fact, I think we're going to let Andrea do a little work on this. Alrighty. I'll help her get things set up and then we'll let her assemble it. Yeah, the old clips can get thrown out. Alright, guys. I'll have this back in the tripod in just a minute here. I need the brake pads before you go.
Yep, they're over here.
Okay. I need the tripod so I can set this up. Okay. Give me just a second here again, guys. I want to get this mounted. All right, I think we're mounted in here now. Let me just get it positioned. Oh, jeez. Hang on, guys. All right, let's see what we got. All right, I think you can see what I'm doing here now. Okay, what I want to do first is I want to take my caliper piston. Oh, and I got a, no, I thought I had a bad brake hose there. It's just, nope, we're good. It's just a green rubber piece that was attached by the manufacturer, gave the part number. All right, I want to set this up on here to where it's not going to fall. And then I'm going to take a big pair of channel lock pliers. And what I want to do is I want to push these pistons back in. Now, I've drained some of the fluid out of the master cylinder so the brake fluid isn't going to overflow as I push these pistons back in. All right, this requires a little effort on my part. And there they go. And I want to make sure it goes back in smoothly, fairly easily, and it does. Okay, that's that piston in. And I want to do the same thing for the other one, since these are 2 piston calipers. Alrighty. And this one's going in nice and easily too. And that's what we're looking for. Okay. Now, of course, because I pushed that one in, this one's going to pop out a little bit. So we're going to push that back in again. And we got to go back and forth between these until we get them all the way in. Alrighty, I hope you all can see that. As you can see, folks, this is not rocket science. All right. Anybody with some automotive experience will be fine doing this job yourself. Okay, we're going to leave that sitting up there. As my next step is I want to start prepping my caliper saddle for reinstallation. Okay, and the first thing I want to do here, Andrea, my tools are a little far away from me. If you can hand me my screwdriver, I would appreciate it. Thank you. All right, we're going to pop out these clips. Okay. And Andrew, you're going to hand me the new clips. Thank you.
I don't think they saw you popping out the clips.
Yeah, probably not. You want to take the camera and show them, Andrea, please? Thank you. Okay. Push these clips into place. And we'll use a little persuasion. Oh, I see what the problem is. Hand me my my pliers. Okay. These have got clips on them and tabs on them on the edges here that need to be bent in a little bit. So I'm going to grab these with my needle nose and bend these in a little bit. All right. Now this should go on. I'm doing a juggling act here on my lap with my tools. Okay, yeah, that's better. Just want to make sure that that's seated. There we go. All right, now there's these little tabs here that need to be bent over, so I'm going to grab them and we're going to bend them over. There's one. There's another. And we've got one more down here on each side. That's that. And that's that. Okay. Now we got another clip to install. Ready? Again. Yeah, again, we're going to have to bend that a little bit. Oh, man. Okay. Alrighty. Now it should fit in there. By the way, these caliper saddles are marked with an L stamped in this one. I don't know whether you can see that there or not, but there's an L stamped in this one. Okay. All right.
I just want to turn this tripod around so you can actually see it. How do you move this little one?
Move it. You grab it and move it.
There we go. Thought it was locked.
Okay. Andrea, you want to come in here?
Yeah.
You want to put this on?
You gonna let me do it?
I'm going to let you do it, but before you do, remember what I said about having to lubricate these pins?
Yep.
You want to get your hands greasy, or
Yep.
should I?
No, I'll do it.
You'll do it?
Yep.
Okay.
I never did it before.
Get your white lithium grease. Put some on your finger. Okay, these are our slide pins, and what you want to do is you want to coat. You see where the grease already is? You want to coat that with white lithium grease, yes. Across that shank. Make sure you lay it on a heavy coat.
Can I get more?
Yes, absolutely. Okay, you didn't bring the rag over. All right, I'll put that back in. Okay, take the other one out and start lubing the other one. There you go. I need that rag.
Alright. Wanna go get it?
Yeah, I need it bad. So I don't want to get grease all over this thing.
It's in the garage. Hold on.
Someone said, good lessons for Andrea. Doug is a patient teacher.
You know, I hope so. I used to teach. Taught for about 14 years. There we go. Let me have the rag. Thank you. Okay. Alrighty. So those pins are back in place. I'm just going to line them up here, and you're going to take those two big bolts. You want me to start one for you?
No.
No? All right, I'm going to let you in here then. You're going to have to grab this like this, put it over the rotor. All right, push the rotor back in place like so, and then start your bolts, okay?
Yeah.
All right, let me get up. This is getting harder and harder for me to do as time goes by. And great, now I got white grease all over my pants here, because I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. Oh, yeah, the old man makes noises when he gets up.
You want your chair?
No, you're going to use it, aren't you?
No, I'm gonna sit on the ground.
Well, there, you're going to get very dirty sitting on the ground.
Oh, I like sitting on the ground better. It's part of the game.
She's always real dirty.
She's a dirty girl.
Oh god, oh god, oh god.
Yikes.
Let's do this shit.
How you doing, Andrea?
So I have to put this thing on the whole entire thing here?
It goes over the brake rotor.
Just over the rotor?
Yes.
Like that?
Yes.
Okay.
See where your bolts go?
Yeah.
Okay, I would suggest you start the top one first. And Manny, you're getting grease all over that brake rotor. I'm gonna have to clean that brake rotor before we put the pads on.
Sorry.
You're turning it the wrong way.
I don't know about that.
You're not lined up.
Am I going the right way now?
Yeah, you're going the right way, but you're not lined up. You gotta line it up. Your brake rotor's coming off. Push your brake rotor on all the way.
It's on.
These people are funny. So that bath towel will never be the same.
What, this one?
Yeah.
I could care less. It's a rag anyway. That's why it was out in the garage. Turning the wrong way again.
Fuck. Well, I'm not getting anywhere.
You gotta line it up. You're not lined up.
I'm pretty sure it is.
You're not lined up. If you were lined up, it would start.
Ah. Nice.
Don't cross-thread it.
I didn't.
You really should have wiped the grease off your fingers before you started that.
Yeah.
You don't want to get grease on the brakes.
Alright, so what do you want me to do?
Well, we're going to clean it with brake cleaner. You're going to go inside and get me a can of brake cleaner once you get that together. Is it started?
Yeah.
Both of them?
Yeah.
All right, push that brake rotor on completely and tighten them up by hand as much as you can. That way you make sure they're not cross-threaded. Okay, very important we don't cross-thread the bolts, folks. Okay, so that's why you want to start them by hand.
What's cross-threading?
If you feel the bolt starting to bind and it's not going in easily, it means that you've taken the threads and you've jammed them, and you can strip out the bolts. All right, if you go to tighten them when they're cross-threaded.
Okay.
Okay, what you're actually doing is you're cutting new threads, and you'll never get the bolt back out again.
So you're going like over one of the grooves, like where it should. Okay.
Exactly. You know how to check comments?
Check comments.
Yeah.
On this live, I've never done
You see the
YouTube
little
live.
arrow down below? You
Arrow.
can scroll up, press the screen, and now you should see an arrow on the bottom. A blue arrow?
I don't.
You don't.
I think the tripod's covering it.
It may be. You got them all in tight?
This one.
Okay, you're going to take an 18mm socket, put it on your impact gun,
Okay.
and hook your impact gun up with the air hose.
Thank you.
It's heavy.
Yeah, it is. Okay, make sure that you get the 18mm socket. The one in the middle, I think, is the one that you're looking for. Okay. Gotta push it on. There you go. Now make sure that you're on that bolt. Careful. Make sure you're on the bolt head square, so you can run them both in. Have them good and tight. Okay?
Okay, but when I'm tightening this,
Yeah.
I kind of just like, it didn't go all the way and it just stopped. So should I take it back out and do it
Well,
again?
is it in most of the way?
It's in like about halfway.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
Go ahead and put
Because
your
the
gun
other
on.
one got all
Go
the
ahead
way
and put
in.
your gun on there.
Okay.
And go ahead and tighten them up.
Do I have to push this?
Nope. Okay, go to the bottom one now. Get them good and tight.
Sounds good.
Okay, go to the top one. Should be good.
Sounds good.
All right, now what you want to do is you want to load your brake pads, but before we do, we're going to spray them down with a little disc brake quiet. So you want to do that?
Yep.
Okay, you're done with the impact on except for putting the tire back on.
Okay.
Okay? Use the rag.
My pants.
Now before we load our brake pads, let's go get that brake quiet and let's get the brake clean from in the garage.
Okay.
Okay? You go get the brake clean and I'll tell you what to do with it.
How long you usually go on for?
I'm usually on for about an hour. It's about how long this will take. I don't know how long it says I've been on for right now.
Hour and 12 minutes.
All right. We're going a little over, but that's okay. You know, they get to see a complete brake job, and you can see it takes about an hour to do, folks. You know, a little bit longer because, you know, Andrea's new to this, and, you know, we're letting her take her time and get it done right. All right, you're going to spray that brake cleaner on the brake surface that I cut on both sides, and then use a clean part of the towel to wipe it off with. So go ahead and spray it down.
I don't know if I have a clean
No,
part
use
of
the
this.
towel.
I know. I don't know if I have a clean part of this towel.
Yeah, that's the greenish towel. Okay,
Spray
spray
here?
it. Yeah, spray it all down. Spray it down, good. I want you to get all your fingerprints off of it.
Yeah.
Okay, now wipe it off. Use a clean part of the towel.
If there is one.
Yeah, spin the rotor around so you get it all. All right, the idea is to get all, you see that grease that's on there? We want to get that grease off.
I just can't put the towel.
And this stuff evaporates pretty quick, so it dries itself.
And the grease will make your car slip.
Well, we don't want to get grease on our brake pads. Make the brake pads squeal. It also doesn't provide good, you know, grabbing surface for it. You see where that mark is on it? Spray
Right
that
here?
down again, yeah. Spray that down again and wipe it.
Do you ever have brake failures as a result of grease on the brake
You
pads?
could if you
Wear
get
your
enough
safety
grease on it.
glasses.
All right, it's very common with drum brakes, which were very common on the backs of cars for the longest time. Most cars today have
Safety
four-wheel disc brakes on. All right, which is this. All right, now you want to do the same thing on the back side. And you, okay, it's evaporating. Yeah, you got it. Do the same thing on the other side.
Okay.
Okay, spray it down real good. Good girl. I'll wipe that down.
Not a dog.
Make sure you have a non-greasy part of the towel.
Good.
Okay, now, you don't want to touch the blue part, because the blue part is rather sticky. Okay? What you want to do is, you know where I installed those clips? It's got to fit in that saddle. Nope, other way around. There you go.
Like that?
Yeah, and you might want to use the ball-peen hammer to tap it in place. Get it lined up first. Okay, now use your hammer to tap it down and in.
Down first.
Down and in. You gotta hold it. Is it going in?
Yeah.
Still tap it in.
It's getting there.
Nope, you don't have it down enough. Now try tapping it in. Nope, you don't have it lined up. No, you see your clip came off. Push your clip back up.
Okay.
Okay?
It's a good the clip back on.
All right, now use your hammer to try and get it in there. Come on, Andrea.
Okay.
No, take the pad out. You see how the other end of it is not in? On the clip, Andrea.
Want this?
Yes.
Yeah, I see.
The other end. Okay, now try and get your brake pad in.
It's not
Try
in-
putting the
it's
top
not
in
all
first.
the way.
Push up and use your hammer to try and tap the bottom in while you're pushing up. Now tap it in. Is it going in?
No.
You gotta tap it up some more.
Yep.
Now push it in. There you go. Now you want to do the same thing to the other pad as soon as I spray it down, okay? Okay. So far, so good, Andrea.
Are these like tabs supposed to stay sticky now?
Those tabs, yes.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, I bent those over already. Here, take your brake pad. It goes in like that, okay?
Like this?
Yes.
Same as the other side.
I know it's getting a little hard to see. It's getting dark out here. Use your hammer again.
Oh, let me go in here.
That's not what I wanted you to do.
I know.
Don't drop the brake pads. And now your hair is getting this brake quite
Yeah,
a
oh
lot.
well, I'll wash it. Can I wipe this?
Yeah, you can try.
It's
Or
fine.
to get dirt on the back. Watch where your feet go. You're putting it right in the grease.
Doesn't matter.
It does matter. You'll be tracking it all over the house. You got the pad upside down.
I can't see back there. It's not in all the way.
Well, use your hammer to tap it down. Use the hammer.
Okay.
In?
Yep.
Okay.
It's in.
All right. Now, you're going to take your brake caliper.
Okay.
All right. And you're going to put it over.
Goes on this side.
Yep. You're going to have to push those pins in a little bit in order to get the caliper on. You know those pins that we greased?
Right here.
Yes, but you have to do it while you're putting the caliper on.
Oh, okay.
No.
What?
Straighten your caliper out. Your caliper, Andrea. Your caliper's in your other hand.
Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah, now put it over there. Now push your bottom pin in so it'll slide into place. Come on, push the bottom pin in.
I'm pushing it in. Shut up.
You're not, because it's not going on.
Yeah, I'm not
There,
fucking
now it's
pushing
going
in right
on.
now.
All right, now you want to line up those bolt holes.
Yeah, they're lined up.
And here, take one of the bolts, start the top one first. Got that one started?
Yep.
Here, get the bottom one started while it's still loose.
Need to make sure.
You may have to wiggle the caliper around a little bit to get the bolt
I
started.
know.
No, you're not listening to me.
What?
You may have to move the caliper around a little bit from the bottom in order to get that started.
It's not catching.
You get it started?
No, it's not catching.
You gotta move the caliper.
How?
You're not listening to me. Move
How?
it in and out. Try pushing your rotor in. There, that might make it a little easier to get it lined up. Is it starting now or not? Wiggle it around. The caliper, not the bolt.
This, right?
Yes, that's the caliper. I thought you knew what a brake caliper was.
Yeah, I do.
If it's not starting, Andrew, you got to move the caliper.
All right, you want to come do it?
Yeah, I'll come do it. All right.
Come on.
So we're gonna get daylight here. All right. Oh, shit. What the frig am I stepping on here? I'm stepping out of my shoe is what I'm doing. God damn it. Don't run away. I need assistance. Oh, shit. Come on.
You need me to do the camera?
No, I need some light.
A light?
Yeah. That doesn't do it. Oh, for God's sake. She doesn't have either of these started. Oh, come on. I need light. Ah. I need light here. Oh, down over here. Okay. What did she do? She turned that pin? Yeah, I gotta stop. She got this whole turned the wrong way. Ah, Jesus Christ. Move for a minute, huh? I gotta take this off again. Because it wasn't put on right. You're in my way, Claire. Shine your light down here. Yeah, she had it turned the wrong way. That's why it wouldn't go on. Shit. Okay. Up top first. Come on. Damn it. Claire, you're right in my way. Can you come on this side, please, and shoot down? No, get in here. There you go. Oh, come on. Damn it. Come on. Start. Damn you. This is not working. Claire, you got to come up here. Up here. So I can see what the hell I'm doing here. Okay, that one started. Now I got to get the bottom one. Can you aim down this way? Can you get in here and aim down that way? No, you got to get down here. Stick your camera, your phone up in here, and get...
Where do you want me to...
Oh, God almighty. Can you hold that right there? It's turned again. Damn it. I need to see, and you are nowhere near where I need to see. Okay, I got it started. All right, let me get my wrench on this. You can move out. Good. She gives up too easily.
You're yelling at her.
I'm not yelling at her. She's just not listening to instructions. You see that wrench that's at your feet, by your right foot? No, the wrench. The wrench. That's a wrench. Can you hold it? The light there? Thank you. Okay, that's good. Okay, good. All right, let's move some of this stuff out of the way. And she destroyed that container of grease with
Is this
foot.
garbage or you need these clips?
They're garbage. However, what I do need you to do is turn the steering wheel to the right. Some more. Stop. All right, let me go get the tire. Oh, jeez. Oh, God. You can come out of there. God. Oh, God. Can you move these tools out of the way here, please? No, these tools. All right, let's try this again. All right, I'm gonna need you to give me some light here. Ah, damn it. Come on, give me some light. Over in here, Claire, that's where I need to see. Damn it. Back off a bit and give me some room to work, please. Really need some help here. Damn it. Give me that hammer. The hammer. Come on, give me the hammer.
I'm looking for it.
Oh, for God's sake.
Where is it?
I don't know. It should be right there. You moved it. Oh, for Christ's sake.
Relax, relax.
Come here. Damn. Claire, I need a light. And again, you disappeared. Oh, come on.
No, can you sign off the light?
No, I'm not signing off the live stream. I could use some help here, but I'll never get any. Oh, come on. I don't have the strength to lift the damn thing. Give me the big pair of pliers. Damn it. Come over here with the light. Ah, come on. Damn it. Come on. With the light where I need it, huh? Oh, come on. Get on there. Come on. Ah, damn. Come on, Claire. Put the light where I need it, please. Oh, for crying out loud. Almost there. Almost there. Come on, Claire. I need the light where I can see. Try holding it back there, huh? Ah, damn. Again, you moved the light on me. Oh, come on, Claire. Come on. There we go. All right, I need my lug nuts now. You want to hand me the one that's on the floor?
Yes.
Do you see it?
No.
No.
Where is it?
It's on the... Oh, for God's sake, I got it already. You don't see anything. You really need glasses, Claire. All right, we'll get these lug nuts on. And we're just about finished with this brake job, folks. What do you do with those sockets?
They're right here.
I need the largest one. Okay. Everything else can go back in the garage. Take that from me, huh? I need both hands. Okay. Turn off the air compressor, did you?
No.
Can you check and make sure it's still on?
Yes.
I got a feeling somebody turned it off. Yeah, that's what I thought. I gotta wait for this air compressor to build back up. All right, all these tools can go back. The grease can go back. The hammer can go back. All right, let me go to the camera here and see as we are about wrapping this up, folks. All right, let me just see who's on a chat here. Yeah, I could use a 6-pack when I get done. Yeah, cool. I agree. If you know you can get performance rotors that cheaply, I'd replace them with performance rotors too. I'm just doing this from an economic standpoint. I didn't need rotors, so I'm not going to bother replacing them at this time. Okay. Yeah, I probably could have put a lug nut on the rotor. It would have helped steady it. Yeah, it reminds you of the song Teach Your Children Well. Yeah, she loses patience though, which is alright. You know, she's young. A family that changes brakes together stays together. The Me Too movement would be proud. Yeah, I guess so. We're not going there. Carl, how are you? Marijuana is a gateway drug for huffing brake clean. I've never heard that one before. Looking good, Andrea. Yeah, I heard it's spinach. Yeah, that is the gateway drug to marijuana. Hammer time. Andrea, learning while you're on camera, you rock, woman. Doug, be nice to Andrea. Remember, she cuts your hair. Yeah, sometimes when she's feeling in a charitable mood. I was using the jack stands with Keisha last time too. I have 4 of these. You just didn't see them underneath the car last time. Okay, because I don't think I was showing them to you, but they were under there. Yeah, we're going to wrap this up at this point, folks. I've been on for an hour and 38 now. I hope you enjoyed this. This is what it's all about. Yeah, I know. I'm just getting anxious because it's getting dark out. Thank you, Nash Guy. I will. Cussing in car work. I think my daughter did more cussing than I did. Four-beer job now, what Keisha says. You go ahead and have those 4 beers for me, pilot. Miss Char, I'm glad you're enjoying this. Yeah, most of this stuff is impromptu. It's, you know, we go as we go. Yeah, Nash, I guess so. I find I'm more like my father. He was very short-tempered too. But, you know, so it goes. Robert, how are you, buddy? Oh, my dad cussed like a sailor. Yes, Sailmaster, she probably is. All right. Yeah, it was my wife out here at the end because my daughter decided that she wanted to hang it up, which is okay. She did plenty here today, and I'm sure she learned a lot. Yeah, I'm sorry you chewed all your fingernails clean. I gotta chew all mine clean because this is what they look like. You see my hands? This is what happens when you work on cars. Yeah, I knew it would line up. You know, just patience, and I'm running out of them, I guess. Yeah, I did turn the compressor back on so I could finish tightening up those lug nuts. I'm glad you like the New York accent. Yes, I'm just sometimes next time I'm just gonna pay someone to do this. Yeah, Carl, it's cool. It's all good. All right, I know you got to go, Carl. I know it's time to start your live stream. I'm going to end this. Anyway, so folks, if you have any questions for me, any final questions, feel free to go ahead and ask. Anybody that wants to do a shameless shout out, you know, go ahead. If you have your own YouTube channel, whatever, you go ahead and do the shameless shout out. I'm going to finish tightening up my lug nuts and call it a night here, folks. Put my wheel covers back on, and that's it. All right, so listen, everybody, have a good night, and hopefully I'll catch up with you all next Sunday, God willing. All right, until then, motor safely, and you know, keep in mind that we're on every Sunday, 5 p.m. You know, those hours I may move up a little bit is because, as you can see, it's getting dark earlier. So, you know, we'll go as we have to go. Sealmaster, have a good one. Smoking, you too. Thanks, Waukesha. All right, everybody, have a good night. Good times. And, you know, get a chance, go over to Sailing with Grandpa with Carl and check out and see what his day was like. All right, folks, have a good night. Bye-bye now.